So next one we're going to do is adding polynomials. So we're going to flip this one up here. Okay. And we're going to find the sum. So there are 7 problems in this part of the flip chart. We're not going to do all of them together. Some of them you're going to do on your own. Okay. When you add polynomials together, it's just like adding regular expressions. We're combining like terms. Now, like terms, because polynomials can be more complex, like terms have the same variables with the same exponents. Okay. Before, we kind of just had to worry about if this has an x, you combine the x's. If this is a y, you combine the y's. If it doesn't have a number, we can combine. If it doesn't have a variable, we can combine those. But now we have to take a look at the exponent to make sure the exponent is the same as well. For one, like example 1, there aren't any exponents, so it's a little bit easier to think about. We're adding, so we have negative 2x plus x, and negative 2x plus positive 1x is just negative x. And then separately, I'm going to use color here, if you can already tell. I have negative 9, and I'm adding positive 4. Negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. So my final answer for this one would be negative x minus 5. Now, I'm going to show you a different way to add these two equations, one that you might be familiar with from systems of equations. And it's called the vertical method. Some students like this better. I think it's a pretty cool method to do. You're going to stack these two polynomials on top of each other. So negative 2x minus 9 and x plus 4. So the same thing when you're solving systems of equations by elimination, and we start stacking things on top of each other. We want to make sure that the like terms are together. So the x is on top of the x, numbers on top of the regular numbers, and then we can just add them down. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative x, negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. So either way, you get the same answer. Okay, it just depends on how you want to do the problem. So number 2, let's use the box method first, or the vertical method first. So I've got negative 5x plus 17 and I'm adding negative 9x plus 4. Now, when I add those two together, negative 5x and negative 9x is negative 14x, and 17 plus 4 is positive 21. So negative 14x plus 21. That would be the answer to that one. So I'm going to skip number 3 and have you do that on your own, either using the vertical method or by circling like terms. Okay? Either method works. And when you're done, come check your answer with me, and we'll move on to number 4 together. For number 4, if we were to use the vertical method, we'd have 6x cubed minus 12x plus 1. But notice that this one here has an x squared and this one doesn't. So I have to leave some space to show that. So I'm going to say that there aren't any x squareds in the top one. Minus 12x plus 1. And then the bottom was no x cubed, 8x squared plus 10x minus 6. So that's what I'm adding together. Okay, so notice how the like terms are on top of each other now. This one didn't have any x squareds, so I had to show that there weren't any. So that way everything lines up. It's kind of like when you're adding and subtracting with decimals and you want to make the decimal points line up so you know that all the place values are the same, like you're adding the tenths place and the ones place, and all those place values are kind of lined up, so when you add together, you get the right answer. We're doing the same thing here. Everything's got to be lined up. So let's add down. 6x cubed plus nothing is just 6x cubed. 0x squared plus 8x squared is just 8x squared. Negative 12x plus 10x is negative 2x. Positive 1, negative 6 gives me negative 5. So the answer to number 4 is 6x cubed plus 8x squared minus 2x minus 5. And now we'll move on to number 5. So for number 5, we just have one first kind of extra step that we have to do, and that's to distribute. So we distribute the 5 in to everything, and it becomes 20x cubed times, 5 times negative 2 is negative 10, so negative 10x squared. And then 5 times 1 is plus 5. And we're adding 3 times 7x squared is 21x squared. 3 times negative 5x is negative 15x. And 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. So this problem changes into this, and you can either use the vertical method or you can circle and square terms. I'm not going to do this one for you. I'm going to let you do that one on your own and then have your teacher check your answer. I want you to try number 6 and number 7 on your own as well. It's asking you to find the perimeter of each figure. So the perimeter, remember, is when we count up all the sides, right? The length of each side. And the length of these sides are expressions. They're polynomials. So we're going to add all 3 of them together. And I just want to point out on this one, you see how this line has a dash here and this one has a dash here? Okay, that means that if this is 2x squared minus 6x, this is also 2x squared minus 6x. These are the same lengths. This has 2 dashes, this has 2 dashes. That means this is the same as that one. Once you're done with this one, number 6 and 7, and you've got all 7 problems done, have your teacher check your answer, and then you can move on to subtracting.